It all began with the sound of rain, a gentle rhythm that soon grew into a raging torrent, swallowing Beijing's skyline beneath a curtain of relentless water. Within just a few hours, the storm transformed into a large-scale catastrophe, pushing the city's flood control systems to the brink of collapse. Drainage channels overflowed, subway tunnels turned into rivers, and entire neighborhoods disappeared beneath waves of muddy, debris-filled water. Officials confirmed more than 30 fatalities, though survivors believe the real number is much higher. Over 80,000 people were forced to evacuate, leaving everything behind. In just a few short days, the amount of rainfall over Beijing exceeded the city's annual average, turning once familiar streets into a maze of ruin, destruction, and floodwater. In the rural outskirts, the devastation was even more severe. Waterlogged hillsides gave way in massive landslides, swallowing homes and cutting off entire villages from the outside world. Roads connecting the city to remote communities collapsed into raging rivers, leaving transportation systems completely paralyzed. The collapse of a key dam unleashed a colossal wall of water that tore through downstream valleys with unstoppable force, shattering bridges, sweeping away farmland, and destroying homes in its path. Even in central Beijing, once proud of its Sponge City project, a modern flood control system, the measures proved powerless against the sheer volume of water pouring from the skies. As the rain continued to fall, rescue efforts became a desperate race against time. Firefighters, medics, and local volunteers waded through waist-deep floodwaters, guiding the elderly to safety and carrying children on their shoulders. Small inflatable boats maneuvered between submerged apartment blocks, rescuing those trapped inside. Throughout the night, emergency crews stacked sandbags and erected makeshift barriers to reinforce levees on the verge of collapse. City officials quickly allocated more than 50 million yuan in emergency relief funds within just a few days, deploying rapid response teams to the hardest-hit areas. Yet the scale of the disaster far exceeded available resources. Many communities were forced to organize their own rescue operations, neighbors helping neighbors, strangers forming human chains, pulling the stranded from the violent current. Meanwhile, in Guangdong Province, the torrential rains fueled a surge in chikungunya infections, with over 7,000 cases reported in just a few days. Hospitals became overwhelmed, forcing authorities to issue emergency public health alerts. The China Meteorological Administration released continuous warnings, cautioning that saturated soil and weakened levees could trigger new floods or collapses at any moment. Meteorologists say this catastrophe resulted from a dangerous convergence, monsoonal moisture colliding with the remnants of Typhoon Deimos, intensified by an atmosphere supercharged with global heat. The World Meteorological Organization's State of the Climate in Asia report warns that Asia is now warming nearly twice as fast as the global average, amplifying the frequency and severity of extreme weather events. In the aftermath of this disaster, Beijing has pledged stronger action. The city is expanding its early warning systems, installing additional real-time rainfall sensors, and strengthening evacuation protocols. Billions of yuan are being invested in reinforcing embankments, upgrading drainage networks, and inspecting high-risk dams. At the national level, China is accelerating its climate resilience initiatives, including emergency stockpiles and disaster response training for local communities. But this catastrophe is not just a tragedy. It is a warning. It reminds us that the storms of the future will not wait for us to be ready. Every delay in adaptation, every underestimation of climate risk will come at the cost of human lives and irreversible loss. For the tens of thousands of families displaced in Beijing, the road to recovery will be long, and the memory of this historic flood will never fade. This is not merely the story of one city. It is a message to the entire world. Nature is responding, and we must act before it's too late. Thank you for watching Extreme Weather, where we analyze the world's most intense natural phenomena. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the latest reports. Please note that some footage in this video is for illustrative purposes and may not fully reflect actual events. Stay informed and stay safe.
The world changing, disasters are no longer rare, they are reality. You cannot predict the next earthquake, flood, or wildfire, but you can choose how ready you are. This channel isn't just here to inform, it's here to wake people up before it's too late. So if you're watching this now, take it as a sign. Don't just scroll, don't just watch. Subscribe, learn, and prepare, because awareness isn't fear, it's power.